Hi. In this training video, you will learn all the foundational knowledge, along with practical tips and tricks to understand how to use Deep Kura. Let's get started. Here is our table of contents. What is a prompt? Reviewing encounters in a thread, using the AI context properly, tags, coworkers, and automations. How to use the AI Nurse Copilot. So, what is a prompt? A prompt, simply put, is a set of instructions that help create any type of clinical document, analytic chart, or even answer a simple question. Let me show you an example of what I mean. If you go to our AI template playground, you'll see our template library, which contains many documents for different specialties. For instance, if we go to family medicine, you'll see different types of notes under that specialty. Here, as an example, we have a family medicine HMP note template. All of this text in the template is considered the prompt in its entirety. This prompt is basically a set of instructions for the AI on how to generate this specific H&P note tailored to family medicine. Now let me show you a different format. You don't have to worry about the specific syntax you see here, such as the strange EN and symbols or XML tags. Every provider has different experiences interacting with AI. Some providers prefer XML tags. Some prefer simple plain text instructions. Some are highly sophisticated and include AI macros. Let me show you what I mean by that. Here you can see a similar syntax. We have the chief complaint header and then these XML tags. What you're looking at is a highly sophisticated prompt by a user who is very familiar with prompt engineering. However, don't feel intimidated. We'll show you how AI can do much of this for you in a user-friendly way. What's important is to have a basic understanding of how prompt engineering works, and to know that there is no rigid set of rules. You are not obligated to use a single standard format. This is an experience you will develop on your own, but we will be here to support you and guide you in the right direction. Now, while taking a look at this template, we can see all of the different clinical headers. You can think of these as subsections or sub-instructions. We have global instructions, e.g., generate a medical note based on the provided transcript. We have sub-instructions for items like the chief complaint or the HPI. This particular user also asked the AI to include a specific set of macros, sometimes called snippets. Different providers have different names: macros, snippets, text expansion, etc. Essentially, they all serve to insert standardized text whenever a specific term or procedure is mentioned during the patient conversation. In this example, the provider is adding a list of procedures. If the provider mentions any of these procedures out loud, the AI will automatically insert that content into the note. You can do the same. I'm not going to dive into the specifics. I just want to give you a quick demonstration of the different types of prompts and show that you can create not only a note, but truly any clinical document via a prompt. Also, via a prompt, you could just ask questions. Essentially, a prompt is the input telling the AI what you want to generate. I hope that's clear enough. Let's now look at a gynecology exam template. Here you'll see that the user took a more user-friendly approach, using brackets instead of XML syntax. That's perfectly acceptable. Brackets may seem more intuitive for some people, and they can generate the same quality of documentation. Why am I showing you all these formats? To emphasize that there isn't a single rigid standard. As long as your output is reliably what you want, the style is completely up to you. Both brackets and XML tags are powerful, but we've made it very easy so you don't even have to worry about XML if you don't want to. In the AI template playground, you can interact with the AI via voice if you like. For example, you could say, "Please generate a psychiatric template. Make sure to include all the specific headers for a psychiatric note." I kept my request broad just to show that you can generate any type of template on the fly. You can also edit this new template via voice. As you can see, it added specific headers for psychiatry and even some AI macros. If you mention something like major depressive episode during the patient conversation, it will automatically insert the associated snippet. Let's refine this template. Maybe I say, remove the mental status examination section. I don't need it. You'll see that it removes exactly that section. Overall, this is very powerful and user-friendly. Once you're satisfied, you can save the template. Under the hood, DeepCura does all the prompt engineering for you automatically. Let me show you. When you save your new template, you'll see in the background that we've added optimized XML tags and a professional level prompt. This setup is designed to speak the AI's language in the most effective way. We're also using the O1 model, which is the best in the market as of January 2025. This way, you can feel confident you're generating a note with the best available model and top-tier prompt engineering. Let me show you an example by previewing this note. One very cool feature is that you can generate a synthetic transcript for testing. You can use that to preview how the note will turn out. However, we recommend importing your own real patient transcript to see how accurate the output will be with real data. Let's ask the AI to, please generate a fake patient conversation for a psychiatric visit. Make sure it has enough data and interaction with the psychiatrist to understand the entire encounter. We now have a synthetic patient conversation. Let's preview the note with this transcript. This is what we call the AI template playground, because you can freely generate a synthetic transcript or use a real one, and apply the template to see the final note. If you notice something you don't like, you can adjust the template. You can manually edit, delete sections, or interact with the AI by voice or text. It all depends on how complex your use case is. Here you have all the tools at your disposal. You'll also see a feature called Create Non-AI Macros, which are basically snippets. For example, if you have a list of 30 popular procedures, you can store them as macros. Then, by pressing Command plus M, you can insert them into your note instantly. That's what that section is for. It's a quick way to inject standardized text in your notes. If you're confident in your prompt writing skills, you can also copy and paste any prompt from the library directly into the template playground and test it yourself. And remember, prompts aren't just for creating notes. You can create emails, insurance denial appeals, or anything else you can imagine. The limit is truly up to your creativity. Great! That covers the AI template playground. Let's move on. You now know what a prompt is, so let's go to the next topic. Next, let's talk about patient threads. DeepQuery is designed so you can easily scroll through numerous encounters for a single patient, all in one place, in a neat thread-based view. Let me show you. We'll go to the patient we just created. Before actually recording anything, I want to focus on the concept of encounters. You have two options, record directly or upload a recording. I'm going to upload a popular back pain visit from YouTube as a demonstration. Think of these encounters like building blocks or Legos. I'll show you how to share them with coworkers, tag them, or even auto-tag them using AI. There are many use cases for these building blocks. We chose a thread-based approach because it allows you to collapse or expand multiple encounters for a single patient, making it very efficient to review their entire clinical history. Our note has now been generated. Here you see the encounter. By the way, please ignore the display name and credentials shown here. This is just a demo under my developer account. You can change your own name and credentials as you like. You can collapse this note to see it as a single building block. You can accumulate multiple notes this way, and I'll show you how to tag them, so you can quickly filter through dozens of encounters. For example, if you have 20 encounters in the same thread, you could press Ctrl plus F to search for a specific medication, like tramadol, and quickly jump to each mention of it across all encounters. That's why we chose a thread-based design, one place to scroll through a patient's entire file. Let's produce a second encounter. Notice that the input side of the screen displays the transcript, what was said, and the output side displays the note. You can collapse or expand each side. Recording or transcript is the input, note is the output. This makes it easy to see the conversation and the resulting document. DeepQuery also lets you isolate which part of the data to use as AI context. Sometimes you only want the AI to focus on the transcript. Other times you only want it to focus on the note. For example, if I write "translate this into Spanish" and apply it to the transcript, it will translate the entire patient conversation. If I only want to translate the note, I would select the note context instead. This is very powerful for focusing the AI on the exact data you need. Now let's talk about tags. In another tab, I'm going to show you how to create tags. You can create any naming convention you'd like. For example, soap, H&P, Dr. John Doe soap, Dr. Melissa Doe soap. Really, anything you need for organization. You can create them on the fly. Once you've created those tags, refresh your page, and then you'll see your newly added tags as options when tagging an encounter. Let's say you had 10 coworkers and you want to quickly see only the notes created by Dr. John Doe. You simply filter by the tag Dr. John Doe soap and instantly see only those relevant notes in the thread. You can also collapse or expand all notes with one click, so if you're coming in fresh and just want to see a concise overview, you can collapse them all. You can also use filters to refine by date, author, or encounter type, then collapse or expand all notes. Each note is date stamped, so it's very easy to navigate. If you'd prefer not to manually add tags, you can go to Automations and enable the auto tagger, so each encounter is tagged automatically. Now about adding previous notes as context. Append context. If it's a new day and you have a follow-up visit, you might want to keep the same information from the last note, but with a new detail like, the patient now has a peanut allergy. You can do that by selecting Add as Context on the previous note, and then recording a new piece of dictation that says, "Today the patient presented with a new peanut allergy." Then you can use a prompt, such as "Update the previous soap note," which merges the old note's context with this new information. The result is a new version of the note that retains everything, but includes the peanut allergy. DeepQuery uses a reasoning mechanism that sometimes takes a bit longer to generate a response, but the trade-off is more powerful, higher quality outputs. As you can see, the final note now includes the new peanut allergy while preserving everything else from before. That's because of the prompt we used, which you can customize freely. In our example, it's just plain text. Carefully analyze the transcript and use it to update the previously appended note, focusing only on abnormal findings, etc. We also showed how to isolate context for magic edits, either from the recording or from the note itself. There are many other features here, but I don't want to overwhelm you in this single training. Remember, you can search transcripts by pressing Ctrl plus F to find words like tramadol. You can also filter by author, encounter type, or date, then collapse or expand all notes. Each note is date-stamped, so it's very easy to navigate. We also have Analytics, a beta feature, for AI-assisted decision support. DeepCura does not provide medical advice, but we leverage the best models in the market to deliver helpful, structured data. For instance, while you record your encounter, you can run analytics on that same encounter in real time. And it will also consider previous visits to give you an overall picture of the patient's health evolution. When the analytics finish, you'll typically see something like abnormal delta scores, how they've changed from one visit to the next, a mind map for clarity, and a timeline of the patient's visits. You might also see one-line alerts summarizing the patient's conditions. Now let's move on to how coworkers collaborate. Let's add a coworker. To add a coworker, e.g. Dr. Barda, go to your Coworkers tab, enter their email, and grant them certain permissions. If you're an admin, you can decide whether or not coworkers can create their own templates. Some admins prefer to keep template creation centralized. This way, only the admins worry about the template creation process, and the workforce can focus on recording the patient encounters. The invitee will see a pending invitation and must accept it. Once accepted, they'll have full access to your database. If I log in as Dr. Barba, I can see the notes you created. If I delete something, you can see exactly what happened by clicking Access Logs and Multiplayer Edit. It shows a timestamp, name, and even the IP address of who made the change. This is more than HIPAA compliant. It's comprehensive activity tracking. If it's not a coworker you want to collaborate with, but rather an external user, you can use external collaboration. That lets you share a single note with a read-only or write access link. Coworkers, by contrast, have full write permission to your entire workspace. Now let's discuss the AI Nurse Copilot. It's a powerful tool for patient intake. You have 3 modes of intake. Email mode. The patient receives an email link to chat with the AI nurse. SMS mode. The patient receives an SMS link. Clinic mode. The provider uses an iPad or a computer in the clinic. The patient doesn't need a password. They can just interact with the AI nurse directly on the device in front of them. For example, we have pre-chart and patient messaging automation. You can also choose a language and add your own logo via the settings page to keep everything on brand. Once you start, the AI nurse greets the patient. The patient can type or speak their responses, and the AI nurse will gather all the relevant intake information.
Hello, John Doe. I'm an AI nurse assistant. Please feel free to talk to me as you would with any healthcare professional. How can I assist you today?
Date of birth, reason for visit, symptoms, past medical history, social history, allergies. At some point, the AI nurse will display all the collected data, asking the patient to confirm everything is accurate. This is a critical safety checkpoint. Once the patient confirms, you can transfer this intake data to the patient's chart as a building block, letting you incorporate it into your main Scribe workflow as context if needed, merging the pre-visit and the during-visit stages together. Under the hood, the AI Nurse Copilot is driven by prompts, just like everything else in DeepCura. If you look at the default prompt, you'll see the instructions we've given it to follow a specific routine and produce a specific format. Now that you understand how prompts work, you can create your own AI Nurse Copilots by clicking Create Your Own AI Nurse Copilot. You can also receive email notifications if the AI nurse mentions specific keywords. For example, if the AI nurse says emergency or chest pain. You can add your own payment links, scheduling links, or even embed your consent forms. Patients would be prompted to accept them before proceeding, streamlining the collection of patient consent process. Again, the sky's the limit. You can design your AI nurse to do anything you want via prompts. Finally, there are many more features. AI tasks, AI grid hooks, integrate with Google Workspace to automatically send analytics to Google Sheets, automate Gmail emails or notes to Google Docs. Medical lingo. If you use highly sophisticated medical terminology, you can enable a special mode for that, currently English only, called Enhanced Transcription Quality. Append last visit automation. If you want every new encounter to automatically include the last visit's data, you can enable that. But remember to be careful about what context you're injecting. There are also quick telehealth calls you can do, scheduling integrations with cal.com, AI fax integration, iFax, and a community area. You can customize your logo, removing any DeepCura branding so that everything is under your own practice branding in the patient portal. That should cover the essential information on how to use DeepCura. We will continue adding new features, so stay tuned. Thank you for watching this video. We hope everything was clear and we appreciate your time.